I think that now I'll give the floor to Thomais Vlachogianni to try to wrap up and give some concluding remarks on the basis of what we've heard until now.
Okay, thank you. I will be very brief because we have half an hour almost delay, and we would really love to watch also the Plastic Busters MPAs documentary that we have prepared for this occasion. So just quickly, and to summarize also for our newcomers, the discussions and the presentations that we had today. So I think that it was evident that from all the presentations coming from the testing activities, but also from the replication actions that you just heard in the last session, it is evident that the Plastic Busters MPAs has generated a substantial amount of new knowledge on the marine litter threat in marine protected areas, but also not only in marine protected areas. I believe that this has been one of the greatest coordinated efforts to gather new evidence on the problem of marine litter in the Mediterranean in general. And we strongly believe that this new knowledge can provide concrete input to the baselines setting or updating at Mediterranean and European level. So this was one of the important aspects. Another important aspect that concerns the monitoring approach, as it has been highlighted, we have been since the very beginning try and align our approaches with the policy framework that is being provided by the Barcelona Convention and IMAP, and also by the MSFD and the work of the Technical Group on Marine Litter. It has been challenging, but nevertheless, we didn't give up, and we tried as much as possible to apply and to some extent also provide feedback and input on how to operationalize the latest guidelines that have been shared by these groups, because it's one thing to provide, to develop guidelines and to develop lists and to call upon the countries to apply them. And it's another thing when you actually go to the field and you really have to stick to the protocol, and as all of us are humans and always introduce our own personal element to any kind of activity, despite the protocols that exist out there. So I think that this entire effort illustrates how we can move in a harmonized way in gathering evidence, in monitoring this emerging pressure, but also in understanding what needs to be done at the end of the day to address this pressure, and also to see whether our efforts are generating the desired results. Because now it is a phase where in both legislative frameworks and in the Barcelona Convention regional plan for marine litter management, but also in the MSFD, we have entered a more advanced phase where basically on the one side we have an upgraded regional plan, on the other side we are going through the second cycle of the MSFD. We also have other legislative frameworks being adopted. So it is time to see whether whatever we have been doing, it has been having an impact in terms of reducing the marine litter and the plastic pollution, marine plastic pollution pressure, and how should we move forwards in order to enhance this kind of efforts. So I will not take much more of your time because we have prepared with Christina a more consolidated presentation with our key messages for the decision makers at the highest level. So we will share our insights and perhaps some meaningful recommendations in a few minutes. And with that, I would like to pass the floor to Professor Spillis again.
Thank you, Thomais, for this interim conclusion. My conclusion, I take the responsibility to say that without having consulted with the ladies who actually carry on the research at the moment, are three. The one is what I said already. Unfortunately, for the coming years, for some years, the protected areas are totally unprotected from plastics. And this is because the second, even if we, as I hope, we can have impressive progress in reducing plastics on the beaches, we cannot actually reduce plastic coming from the sea. So this is my first conclusion, because we should not raise too high expectations that we see very soon the improvement. It's absolutely necessary what we are doing, but the first results are going to be seen perhaps in 10 years. So this is my conclusion from what you have presented. And it is very important towards this direction to know how we can inform decision makers for the next steps. The second, the third, fourth is that what we are doing now, it is absolutely necessary. It should have been many years before, but we have to start at a given moment. And by reducing single-use plastics, by having better management of the urban, the municipal solid waste, the industrial or agricultural solid waste, and all the rest in fishing and the rest, we are going to reduce also the appetite of the public for more plastics. So we'll change the attitudes. And there is where we can play some role also through education for sustainable development, and through particular projects and campaigns that we, as you know, all of us, and particularly our organization together with the Barcelona Convention and other bodies design. And the third is that we become more and more sophisticated in our methodologies, and it will take some time to link our results with the actual health impacts. This is a big question. We should not rush in conclusions there, but this is actually a very important next step. Again, I think that we might have something concrete in a few years' time. I mean, not less than 5. But so this is a little bit my interim results. So, so now we can move to see the documentary, please.